everybody. I think we're live. Hopefully we're live. If we're not, we'll find out maybe in the chat. Oh yeah, we're live? Great. Awesome. Welcome, mortals, to Morning Ritual. Yeah, this is the talk show, I guess, that we're doing. I'm Pahnita. You can find me everywhere at Pahnita XO here on Twitch. And yeah, this is kind of like going to be our sort of like chill morning TTRPG talk show kind of deal. I've got coffee. Justin's got some
coffee. I also have coffee.
We've got a guest today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because I have no format for this or prep, so let's do this.
Fuck it, I love the free-flowing thing is much more my speed.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm TheNoirEnigma. You can find me as everywhere as TheNoirEnigma. You can just simply call me Noir or Justin, whatever finds you lost remote. Hey, I do a bunch of streams and stuff, and a bunch of my friends are here. That's cool. And they burnt my coffee, and I'm not happy about it. It's okay.
Shit.
I mean, it's McDonald's. You
get what you pay for. I'm drinking Found Familiar today. I'm drinking the Cartographer's Blend because I'm feeling fancy.
Ooh,
yeah,
like
it's real good.
The thing is, I have some Found Familiar. I'm just a lazy piece of shit.
I mean,
I was like, I can get up and make it, or I can press 2 buttons on the app. So.
I mean, that's fair. That is 100% fair. If we wind up taking a break in this, I'm probably going to make myself another cup because I just killed the spot.
Oh.
So how's everybody feeling today?
Yeah, well. Good morning. Good morning, you early morning fuckers. It's like 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
I mean, it's 9 a.m. here.
Oh, well, it's 8
a.m. Pacific
time zone.
That's why they call it Central.
Yeah, it's Central. We are the protagonists. But yeah, like 10 or 9. Even if you're awake at 9 on a Saturday, why?
I mean,
for us, obviously.
For us.
Yeah, you know.
For us. I kind of wanted to like. The reason why I chose this specific time zone is because it was still morning in most of America. So, good morning, North America. I'm Canadian, but. 11 a.m. on the East Coast, yeah. You just wake up.
Game Dad's popping off like it's 11 a.m. here, so I'm chill.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, if I was in Pacific time, I'd just be like, fuck y'all on the East Coast.
Pretty much. I mean, I say that anyway, just because they think that pizza's that great. It's not. I'm talking specifically about New York. I just want to fist fight somebody from New York.
I mean, I don't know if I can arrange that. I probably can't. But we'll find someone.
I'm probably gonna say something like that in just one too many times. And somebody I know is actually gonna be from
well, look at chat. Look at fucking chat, buddy.
Let's go, Hoosier! You and me at the flagpole after school.
After the stream. What's halfway between Chicago and New York? Like.
Oh man, that would involve me knowing geography at all.
I mean, if Jamie's in chat, Jamie will know. Jamie would be able to find the exact, like, the man is Google Maps.
Ohio on you.
There we go. That's what I said. He's Google Maps. Like, we'll be driving someplace between, like, city to city, and he'll just be like, oh, we're, like, 137 kilometers from home, and he'll be on within, like, 1 or 2 kilometers. Like, not even kidding.
Hold on 1 second. Me and Hoosier are settling this. I got a 14, but I'm a lazy fuck, so my initiative bonus is -1. Like, you know how Rangers feel with, like, favorite terrain? Because I cannot get lost in Chicago. The second I am out of Chicago, I have no idea where I am. It's a mess.
I can find my way in any mall. That's my gift.
I can do that too. Yeah,
But
you can just,
Jamie goes into a mall, he's lost. It's like he's recalibrating.
That's weird. He's not getting a signal.
Anthony got a 12 though on his initiative, so you do beat him on initiative. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Anthony.
Sorry, dude. I'm gonna roll my first attack. It looks like this. I rolled a 17.
Yeah, but you only do one. I think that's what it's kind of devolving into.
Fighting beyond.
Just you're fighting chat. Just fighting chat. That's all this is gonna be.
What's chat CR rating?
CR rating is 24 on chat because we're fighting the literal internet. And you don't want to fight the internet. There's a lot of fucking Nazis on there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm like, all I want to do is fight Nazis. So, yeah, but then I'd have to like go to 4chan and no.
Oh no! Don't say those words. You will summon them.
They're like Candling Jack. Oh no! What did I?
Remind me to get a VPN just in case I get swatted. Original concept: bringing guests to have a morning talk show. New concept: bringing guests to fight in all comers.
That's the entire show. The guest versus you. Who wins?
Woke concept: fight the chat in a morning talk show. Well, I'm glad we're lifting everybody's spirits with this, at least.
Woke concept: fight the chat in a morning
Talk show.
You know how much more interesting, like, the Today Show would be if, like...
They fought the live studio audience?
Exactly. Like, you know, all those people outside of the glass with the signs up, if they just raised the glass, dude, have to fight them. Like, whoever the guest is, like, going in on those people inside.
Good morning,
how
Ray.
would those signs...
Hi, Ray. Good morning.
Oh, hey, Ray.
We're talking about fighting people now, because that's how we've started this show.
Welcome to the audience, Ray. I have to fight you now. You're now my enemy.
Justin, no. Justin, yes.
I'm so sorry you did this to yourself. You, all the Twitch channels in the world, and you picked this one.
Roper would be way better if he had to square up every day with whoever rolled up in Times Square. I mean, fair.
And now let's see what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Good morning, America. It's time for the Royal Rumble segment. Oh, chat, you're gold. I don't think I want to fight you now because you're all a lot more funny than I could ever be.
I know, I'm kind of digging this. I mean, just imagine if you come to the Today Show to promote your movie, you have to fight before you can promote them.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want to promote this bee movie about bees? How badly do you want to promote Bee Movie 2, Beepocalypse? The murder hornets have arrived.
I almost said electric beagaloo.
I mean, it could work. It could work. I think Beepocalypse works better because you could have the plot about murder hornets.
True.
And it's timely. It is a story for our times. Bee Movie 3.
But if in order to promote movies you had to fight, the casting of movies would change dramatically. So you would have like MMA fighters in like Shakespearean roles, like Cain Velasquez doing like Pride and Prejudice.
I mean, I don't see a problem with this.
Oh my god.
I don't see a problem with someone who can fucking fight playing Mr. Darcy. I have no issues with this.
God, why can't the world be more like
Alright, I'll turn that down a little bit. How are we now for the B Movie 2 Wasp Happening?
God
Okay.
damn it.
That's good. That's good. I like that one.
Protect your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Cat coming out swinging, and I love it.
I like it. I like it. Pride and Prejudice in these hands. Catch his hands.
Oh my
I mean,
god.
yeah,
he's
that's fair lore, and most MMA fighters do want to get into movies anyways, and like wrestlers too. Like,
I know, like, so now they don't have to play the tough guy. They can play, like, real dramatic, like Hamilton, but with nothing but MMA fighter.
Hey Nick, how are you doing? Yeah, so we're not really talking RPGs right now. We're just talking about like movies and fighting people, because that's how this goes.
It's freeform, baby.
I mean, I don't have a plan. I've never been a person with a plan. I've just been the person that says shit on Twitter and then has to follow through eventually. Emily Hilton.
Jamie wins.
Jamie wins it.
That's a knockout punch right there.
It's kaboom where it happened.
Fucking Brock Lesnar as Hamilton. I'm not gonna miss my shot.
No, he won't, because he'll hit you with that F5.
Oh my god. I want nothing more than to see Brock Lesnar as
Alexander Hamilton.
And the Undertaker's Aaron Burr. I'm doing fantasy casting.
Okay, yeah, let's do Vince McMahon's promotion as a musical now.
Oh god. Meet me in the ring. Oh god. Pay-per-view has its eyes on you.
He is retiring as the Undertaker. It's true. He has Undertaker has retired. So yeah,
I mean, it's sad.
Riss is right there. Hi, Riss. Yeah. He does need something to do. I know a lot of these people in chat. Hey, everybody. You're all
more
amazing.
people are coming in.
You're all amazing and incredible, and I love you all. And thanks for showing up and sticking around for our bullshit.
I'm very surprised anybody's still.
I mean, our chat's been pretty good.
I mean, yeah, really stay for chat, because I'm still laughing at Al Roker and how to protect your neck of the woods. I wish to God I had any artistic ability, because I just want to draw. I would just draw the shit.
Just square it up.
Fuck. Fuck the suit. Let's go.
It just like rips off the sleeves and just like guns out.
The forecast for today is rain in hands.
Sleeves are bullshit. You're right. You're right,
Sleeves
Nick.
are-
Sleeves are bullshit. Alexander Slamilton.
Hamilton. Fuck you. Fuck you. Why didn't I think of that?
Alexander
Oh,
Slamilton. Turning off my notifications.
Yeah, that is my next D&D character for sure.
Is
That's
Alexander
Hamilton, the barbarian monk who just loves to fucking
noble background?
noble background. Well, no, because he started in a little Caribbean town,
It's fair.
but he came over to the mainland to slam.
There's a million holds I haven't done. Just you wait. Just you wait. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we're doing now. Is we're going to be doing Hamilton, but D&D. I think that's going to be the next show that we have on this channel because everybody's here. Folk hero. Yeah, definitely folk hero background. You're right.
Folk hero, yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Obviously, tavern brawler.
Yeah, Tavern Brawler. You've got to have that. Definitely, that's a great feat. I've been told.
It's so good. It's the only feat that lets you kill a man to death with a turkey leg.
That is fair.
Is it bad that I've not yet seen Hamilton? It's not bad because you'll be able to see it Friday when it comes out on Disney Plus.
Sure is. Yeah, that'll be my first time seeing it too. Like I know it through meme culture. I haven't actually watched it yet. I know this is one of my points of shame.
Like I've got to organize a viewing party because I need to make sure people see this.
I know. Wait, what? Lucas, did you not know that it was coming out on Disney Plus? Waiting for chat. Waiting for chat.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Did you not know that's coming out?
Yeah, it's coming out on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's because Lin-Manuel sold his soul to the Disney company because he did a bunch of stuff for Moana and then DuckTales and then everything, and so now he's just part of that. That's kind of what happens. Is people just get co-opted by Disney. Like that's what happened to Mandy Moore.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm just ready. Like, whenever
July
Disney
3rd.
comes.
I mean...
July 3rd, and there are going to be tons of viewing parties. I've been seeing a bunch of people organize them. I'm considering organizing one myself.
Ooh, that sounds good. Sounds lots of fun.
Yeah, just a bunch of people on a Zoom, watching it on their own screen, and not projecting it with the share screen feature on Zoom. So we can all watch at the same time. But yeah, like, just this a viewing party. So,
I'd be in for that.
Look into that.
I mean, can't do it through Twitch. Yeah, you have to do a Zoom call. It'd have to be like a private Zoom call.
Yeah, it can't be public. This is just for you and a bunch of friends to all watch it at the same time. Next week we're getting Critical Role. And then we're getting Hamilton the next day. So, hey, it's gonna be a good week next week.
It's gonna be a good week.
Shit for
oh, hey, if you want to keep up to date with this channel, you can join our Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord.
Join the Critical Miscord. That's a thing. We have a terms of service, but just hit the agree button and I'll let you in right away. I'm pretty good about it. I don't think I've missed anyone yet.
Yeah. The rules are basically don't be a fuck.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Is like, yeah, don't be mean. Don't be mean behind or in front of the screen.
Don't be an ist or a fuckhead.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Because if you are, we'll call Alexander Slamilton.
And he will fuck you up. Not even kidding.
God damn it, I wish I could draw. I just want Boxer Al Roker and Alexander Slamilton.
Chat if there are any artists in there. I mean, I could probably do it, but I'm lazy.
What would it be if this is the show that gets us fan art?
If this is the show that gets us fan art, I swear to God.
Like, we've been on, like, a bajillion streams playing these complicated characters.
These beautiful, nuanced...
Built from scratch.
Yes. But Alexander Slamilton is what gets us fan art.
I would be mad and also like, yeah, that's on brand.
Macho Man Hercules Mulligan.
Yeah. Immigrants, we get the job done.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's a bunch of things coming out on the 3rd, I think. Yeah, on Disney Plus and on different streaming platforms. Usually Fridays are when things drop. That's what I'm hearing in chat.
Well, I mean, I'll believe that. They don't miss.
Oh, so classes of all the characters, classes of all the Hamilton TTRPG characters?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Okay, let's do this. I don't know anything about Hamilton, so I'll just let you go do this.
I got you. So the Schuyler sisters, they're all multi-class with some. So they all have levels in Bard. And
everybody has levels in Bard, I think, for this.
No, but specifically the Schuyler sisters, because everybody's trying to holler at them. So, fuck. I can't remember the names because I'm terrible with names. Because trauma. That's
a mood. That's a big old mood.
Yeah, like I was like, why don't I remember anything? It's like, oh, because your brain is just like nothing good happens. So Angelica Schuyler, definitely.
Two characters.
Definitely.
True. Yeah, of the two characters that Game Dad's played with you, one is a Double Dragon's brother and one is an Animorphs joke. I mean, that's fair.
I mean, you know, this is a topic that I don't
Aaron Burr's a paladin because he's a fucking cop. I said what I said.
You know what? Fuck you guys. I love Aaron Burr. The man, he's got the best songs, and yes, he is a cop because he killed my man Hamilton. Hashtag justice for Hamilton. But you know, it happens. But I was just gonna say, like, here's my question to you: What makes a fun character to you?
Fun character to me? Or fun character? We'll open it up to chat too. Like, chat, what makes a fun character for you?
Like a character you enjoy playing, and a character you enjoy playing with, and a character you enjoy watching. Like, what does a character have to fulfill all three of those? Because, like, I know for a fact that I have characters that I've missed on at least one of those three criteria. I have very few that I think hit all three.
That's fair. So, a character that I enjoy playing has to be... I like having different levels.
Right.
Like, different layers. Like, I don't want a one-note character. So, like, Finny, for example. I also like to have a good core concept. So, like, with Finny it was, what if a divorcee was also sort of a warlock, and his patron was his ex. So I'm just like, that's a good idea. We'll make him a cleric, and like kind of a sad boy, and like, but then it layers down. Like, oh, okay, well he was bookish, and his ex ascended because they found a scroll, and then like you add like those different layers, and then it really comes down to your DM. Like Ray with Rick in chat right now is incredible, like at like pulling you in, and like then just like taking what you want and then just like twisting it, twisting it like a knife in your gut.
So you know what, I heavily agree with that. I think
you need layers.
Yeah, I think there's only so much you as a player can do. Like I think you can come to the table with all the proper ingredients, but to like really bake a masterful like character, I think that's when it becomes a joint effort. So yeah. And Sad Boys, the thing with Sad Boys is I think they're really hit or miss. They can either be really compelling or really cringy, and like that is a fine line to walk in. I enjoy seeing people walk in, because I mean, like, there can be points where it's cringy, but the cringy turns into something that's like
heartfelt and wholesome. Like, yeah. Oh shit! Like, wait, what? Hi, Floppy. Hey, Flops. We have a Floppy Jalopy in chat.
Okay, now it's a stream. We got a floppy.
You're not an official TTRPG or like anything stream until Floppy Jalopy shows up in your chat.
Yeah, like that's the first thing I ask. Like, you know, oh yeah, our stream has a bajillion followers and all this. Yeah, but do you flops?
Yeah, but do you have flops?
Do you flops, bro?
Do you even flop?
This bro don't even flop, bro. But no, like I do really agree with the layers bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of my personal, that's one of the things that I need to get better at. Like, I'm starting a little to get better at it, but like layers, like I have the tendency to start a lot of characters off as like a one-note joke and then try and build the layer.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started Ophelia or Odd from Josh's channel. Is like, I started it with like, what if I just want to play something that's like no commitment, like low entry level, like amnesiac, easy. Like I don't have to do I don't have to really do work for that. Like, I don't have to write out a backstory. And it's good because I don't really know the Forgotten Realms. So, let's just, like, throw her into this world that she knows nothing about. She doesn't know the characters, she doesn't know the people, she doesn't know the places. That's, like, the easiest way for me. But then you build the layers on top of that, like, oh, hey, like, here are all the things that happened before that. And, like, oh no, she's actually pretty traumatized about all these things.
I mean, that's very interesting because Red was the first time that I was like, I'm gonna come in with layers. Like, I'm not gonna have a joke to rely on, and like, it was like you didn't have the layers, but you fleshed everything out for me, so it was a lot easier to be that kind of character that I normally am not.
Yeah, I think that between the two of us, we actually made like a really good, we back and forth off each other like quite well there.
Yeah, that was a fun one for sure. That's the thing. Like with Red was a shitty dude.
Red was a real shitty dude. Let's face it.
Yeah, playing shitty people it's fucking hard.
It is, because you want to be nice all the time, right? It's kind of like the DM's conundrum. I want to be nice to my players, but also I have to be evil, and I also have to say, fuck you guys, I'm taking away your toys. Like,
it's really fucky. It's really fucky playing a shitty dude.
Yeah. It's like so yeah, you're right. Layers, definitely one thing, and then like obviously, like as you play, you build the character, and if you have a good DM, they will bring those things that will also help invest you and invest your audience, I think, as well.
Absolutely. Now,
that's a good question. I like how this is my show, but you're the one asking like the good and important questions, but it's not me at all.
I mean, I could go back to Alexander Slamilton.
I mean,
like where 60% of my head is still.
That's where I'm sold. Okay, so once I watch Hamilton, once I get that out of the way, we are going to on this channel. I am now. This is one of those things where I'm going to say this in chat, and I'm going to say this live on the internet, so that way I have to follow through. We're gonna have to do a Hamilton TTRPG where they're also MMA fighters.
Yes! Fuck singing! It's all about fight!
Everybody needs to take a level in Monk. Obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. Nick is in once he sees Hamilton as well.
Oh god, like I don't know if you haven't seen it, but there's the King of England. He's got a bunch of songs, and like I'm trying to imagine what his class would be, and I don't know what it is, but he has to just use the shit out of Vicious Mockery. That's his whole deal.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, we've got volunteers in chat already that this is gonna happen.
Oh, as long as they don't tell Twitter about it, because if they tell Twitter about it, we're fucked. We are absolutely fucked. Oh. I mean, really, I don't know why there isn't a Hamilton TTRPG yet. It's like people don't like money. Speaking of Broadway, I spent all last night watching Hadestown. I don't know if you've seen that. I
have not seen Hadestown, no, but I've heard good things. There's things.
It's okay. So the reason that I spent all last night watching it is because I was getting ready to go to bed, and my sleeping playlist has a bunch of Broadway stuff. So I was just like, well, it's like 11 on a Friday. Nobody is gonna be really paying attention to Twitter, so I did some Broadway hot takes.
Yeah, I also saw that you like posted at 4 a.m. So have you even slept?
Oh no.
That's fair.
Not at all. I made the mistake of doing Broadway hot takes, and Broadway Twitter found me.
Oh no. Oh no.
And they were just like, oh, we agree with some of these. And then I got bold and I was like, and Hadestown is trash. And then like whatever the equivalent on Twitter to getting stuffed in a locker is, that's what happened. They're like, you listen here, you little bitch. Hadestown is the GOAT and you go watch it. And so I watched it, and it's really fucking good. Like, I'm not just saying that because I'm partially afraid for my life. It's really fucking good. And I feel like there is a connection between Broadway and TTRPG that
there's
really
a whole untapped, like, there's a lot of people that play RPGs that love musical theater and that do Broadway stuff. Like,
but, yeah, like,
I can't sing for shit, though. Fair warning.
I don't believe that everybody can sing.
Broadway Twitter does not fuck around.
Broadway Twitter does not fuck around. Bro, like, there are people on there with, like, follower accounts that are fucking ridiculous. So I'm like, why are you wasting your time talking to me? They were like, no, you listen here, you little bitch. You can't have this on Twitter.
They stole your lunch money and they shoved you in a locker.
And they left me with a recording of Hades down there, like, watch it, you get to leave this locker when you come.
Yeah, that...
No, I'm being dramatic, but, like, they were really sweet about it. But it was really good. Like, I highly recommend everybody watch that. But it got me thinking, like, why do people who watch Broadway love TTRPGs? And I think I figured it out. You're using basically the same muscle watching a play that you do watching playing a TTRPG.
I suppose, yeah, there was a fair bit of, like, improvisation. Like, there's a lot of things that you need in theater that you use in RPGs.
Yeah.
Like improvisation, like your basic ability to say yes and build upon a scene. Like, your ability to, like, frame out things, and, like, even so much as just, like, your posturing, your gestures, like, the things that you do as an actor definitely apply. Yes, I agree, Ray. Everybody can sing, but not everyone can sing well. I can't sing well. Though you did hear me sing the other night in chat, in the break of Rotting Shadows. I did sing Brain Power. And it was not good. Scrat was impressed that I knew the lyrics, but my singing's not very good.
I think people who can't sing well just haven't found their voice. Hey, here's why. Because Bob Dylan's voice, by any traditional metric, is hot garbage.
It's fucky.
But he's still the GOAT.
That's also because Bob Dylan's not just a singer; he's a storyteller.
Well, true. Like, but I mean, I think that's all about finding your voice. Like, finding your voice is half about how it comes out, and also half about what you say.
That's
so
true.
if your delivery is kind of shaky, but the words are like,
it's not what you say, it's how you say it, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we were talking about, the things that you do in musical theater, like, or in theater,
right,
like how you stage yourself, how you frame yourself. Like, half of a good character performance is your posture, and, like, knowing that this is completely different than this, and, like, opening yourself up versus closing yourself off. Like, Finny sits very straight. Finny talks with an affectation. Odd's a little bit more subdued. She just sort of, like, you know. Or, like, something like this is closer to what Dottie does. Like, it's like half of a good character performance. Even if sitting in a chair, you can still do that. And those are all things that you learn from, like, theater or, like, from acting. And I haven't acted since grade 11 and grade 12.
But that's the thing that's so fun to watch about streams. It's just like everybody's playing these characters that can do all these impossible things, and seeing how you represent that in, like, a small box.
Oh yeah, like, I've only got about this much space to work with, but I'll work with it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, people do it, and it's fucking crazy, especially DMs. Like, credit to all the DMs out there. You've got to represent.
Yeah, facial expressions are also part of that too.
Yeah.
Like, you can convey so much emotion with your face. That's just that's just acting 101. It's like acting for stage is different from acting for is definitely different from acting for camera, because with cameras you have more range. Like you have to like almost look into someone's eyes and like search and like try and like actually like express those emotions a little bit differently than but it's like almost like TTRPGs or like even role-playing online are like, you have to like combine all those little different elements that you get and like meld them together.
But
Yes.
This kind of has me thinking like, with every stream I try to play, I try and find something from the DM or GM that I'm playing with that I want to like steal.
Yeah.
Like I feel like every DM has like their special move, their special thing. Like, for example, Alice over in Scraticus Academy.
Shout out to the
She is a master.
Academy.
She is a master of using silence, and that is crazy. Because being a DM is all about I'm creating the world. Everything I say exists. So being able to be compelling and use silence is fucking nuts.
Because here's the thing about silence, though, is like if you and I are having a conversation and I just stop talking, you will try to fill that silence. That's just how people work. Like, yeah. If I just stop talking right now...
Oh, don't do that to me, because it's for your good.
See? It gets uncomfortable, right? And that's like... that's 100% psychology, too. It's like, people will try to fill the silence. Doesn't matter how fucking awkward it is.
Yeah. Like, that's basically all this show is right now. It's just like, we're filling
silence. Being a player or being a DM, which do you prefer? I love DMing. I love telling stories, but I also, I don't know, I love DMing. I love DMing too much. I like playing, but I really love DMing. And if you check out my YouTube channel, that also has some, you can actually see me DM there. And I've also DM'd a one-shot for Community Day over at Scraticus channel as well. So you can see my style of DMing, which is a little bit different. I do quirky, and I do quirky things a little bit better than I don't know. I think that's kind of my particular brand is whimsy.
I was gonna say, what do you think your special move is? Like, what do you think like your signature move as a DM?
I think my signature move as a DM is whimsy, like bringing things that people don't expect into it. Yeah, Mortimer the Snail, or the Baroness of Winter, the one that I ran on this channel about a month back. It started out with 5 words on a post-it note, and then those words were owlbear in a frilly dress, and that's all the prep I had for that. And like, that's whimsy. I think I like to bring. Yeah, Nick was in that one. Super good. Pure Meth in chat. What do you think your super move is? What do you think your secret move is when you're a DM? I think you do cinematic really well.
Okay, so I
the films.
prefer being a DM, and I think if I had to pick a signature move, like the one thing that I try to do as a DM is to make my players feel heroic. Like I am a firm believer in everything that your players do should matter. Like if they hit a target, that should matter. If they miss a target, that should matter. Like the everything about their character sheet is essentially a tool that you should use to tell your story. Like there's nothing in the character sheet that should just be like, oh, it's just there.
Oh yeah, like there's nothing in it that's nothing. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, Jamie's secret move is making the players tell the story. So there was there's a kid. He's gonna be running some kids on bikes on this channel in a couple weeks, probably a couple Sundays from now. He'll be running kids on bikes, and like he ran a one-shot for me, and he was in chat, Dr. Haggis Pants, and our friend Stacy. And the three of us, like, there was one thing where Jamie just sat there, and the three of us just continued telling the story. And, like, just, like, building on it and building on it. Jamie at one point got up and went to the washroom, and we kept talking, and I'm just like, wait, hold up 1 second. The GM's not even here. We need to stop. Because the GM just got up and left. So I kind of want to tell... Like,
that's giving your players autonomy. That's fucking dope.
It's so good, though. He's so good at that. Like, he'll give you the framework, and he'll just be like, okay, here's what you have. Here's the sandbox that you have to play in. Go, play. He's so good at that.
See,
yeah.
I much prefer that than its opposite, which is a DM that is so rigid.
Oh yeah, like not at all flexible, like this is a game, this is just a shooter, this is just a game on rails.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because to be even more specific, like DMs that give you problems and there's one solution,
yeah,
and like there's only that one solution, that's okay if it's sprinkled in every now and then, but if that's the constant,
yeah, I think that is that's good for one shots to a certain extent. Yeah. Like you need at least like a little bit of a base like bridge structure for one shots. But for like open world concepts or for like games where you're actually like running a story, like you can have a little bit of that every once in a while, but not all the time. Right? It's like chocolate ice cream. It's good.
Right.
It's good, but really what you want is, like, you want variety. Yeah, so, Jonathan Fry, Ray's just mentioned in chat, and Nick says, I like the story for cinematic for sure. I like to ensure that those are moments for someone to revel in their experience. I want terror to be terrifying, what is actually like it's standing in front of the monster's toothy jaw, and I want the creativity to be used as described as epic and monumental. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're really good at that. But yeah, Seawall Orphanage, I caught like little bits and pieces of that, and like
it's spooky as
that
fuck,
was
but
spooky
in, like,
as
a subtle way.
Oh yeah, I just like just the way that you can make like normal things just like slightly creepy. Like Alice does that really good too.
Yeah,
like taking things that are perfectly normal and ordinary and just like twisting them ever so slightly.
Like the episode of Seawall that I caught that really like just kind of fucked with me a little bit. Like I knew that this was a good show that I have to sit down and watch the VOD because of just this one interaction. I believe it was Charlie's character made a deal with some sort of demonic entity that presented itself as like just this regular.
Ray's agreeing with you in chat. That's what happened.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and like everybody on the show was watching this happen. Like, don't fucking do this. But like, she was in the moment, and she made the deal. And once the deal was made, like nothing immediate happened. It was just this agreement has been made, and okay.
Seawall Orphanage is over at Encounter Roleplay.
Yes.
So you can catch the VODs really over at Encounter RP. So let's just do a shout out to Encounter Roleplay. Make sure that I don't get. That's not at all what I wanted to do. Yeah. So.
Speaking of Encounter Roleplays, YouTube, they're very close to hitting a landmark with their YouTube subscriber numbers. So, like, if you head over there, give them a subscription. Like, they put up some good shows, and I'm not just saying that because they host Dr. RPG. Like, it's just like they do some really good shit. Like, I'm learning. Like, I decided to move my Tale of the Second City to the Urban Shadows game system without really knowing how to play it. And now there's an Urban Shadows game on Encounter, so I'm watching it to learn, and it's really good. And Ray's in that one too. What the fuck?
Yeah, Ray's in everything. Ray's all over the place. Ray's awesome. With a brick in chat. Give her love. Give them love. Yes.
Yeah.
Sub to their YouTube. Yeah, so I was on the first episode of Dr. RPG over on that one. I was playing Ophelia. Or Odd. That was real good. I really want to be on some of their streams. I think I'm going to wait for the winter season and I'll apply for some stuff because their time slots might be a little bit better for me. It's hard because they're in the UK. And when their stuff airs at 3 p.m., that's 1 p.m. for me. So with time zones, I'm working all week. Because I have a day job.
My sister's in the same boat. She was actually the last guest on Dr. RPG.
Yes! Lalonde!
Lalonde! And now she's looking to do some stuff with them as well. But
yes!
Schedule fits. So you might be in the show. My sister, that excites me for, I don't know why, but I'm just very excited.
Your sister's awesome, though. Like...
She got
Joy's great.
All the funny of the family.
Holy shit! Like because I'm still in the DM chat for Dr. RPG, and like the first thing that she says when she comes in is, "This is nepotism. Fire him." Just like, oh my god, just comes out swinging.
Immediately, like she tells me that I get to live because I'm carrying her spare kidneys. Like
fair. Like, honestly, and you can survive with only one of those.
True. Oh, we got a question from Husha. Any class? I like how this has become like a fucking
it's just this fucking round. We got a question from chat. Yeah. So, Anthony wants to know any class or subclass that you haven't played in D&D that you want to try out.
Yeah, I've fallen in love with monks, because I'm playing Grin/Hal, and there is essentially a monk subclass that's basically JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where you get like these spectral arms and spectral helmet and all this kind of shit, and you can muda, and I want that. I want to play that so freaking bad. Monks are ridiculous. Like in the last Harper's game that I played with Hal, he had to fight a Shadow Hal that killed him about 4 or 5 times, but because he's the Way of the Long Death monk, as long as he has key points, he can get back up. So like he kept dying and getting back up. Dying and getting back up. Like, monks are ridiculous.
Monks are pretty ridiculous. I actually no, I've played a monk for a one shot. The only one that I haven't played, I'm trying to think. I haven't played fighters. I haven't played a lot of fighters. I probably should play more fighters or paladins. Oh,
paladins are so good.
I think maybe my next character might be a paladin. I think one of the things that I was talking about, like I was because we were in Rotting Shadows. Finney was a cleric, and his deity was his ex. Well, not his ex. His wife ascended, or his partner ascended. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to do is because, spoilers for Rotting Shadows if you haven't watched it, Finney ends up ascending to godhood at the end. But he switches places with his partner. So if I ever have a chance to play in With a Brick or Ray's universe again, I really want to play Jolissa. I want to play his partner, and I want her to be a paladin.
I would love...
Because I would love to see that. I would love to see it. Like, because I would play... Because she's completely... Like, she's not... It's not like I'm playing Finney again. I'm playing a completely different character. I would, like, try and mimic Ray's mannerisms from when she was... Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray's on board. We'll make this happen. So yeah, if I ever get the chance to play.
Like you don't have a whole ass Twitch channel.
I know. It's not like I have a whole Twitch channel that's devoted to RPGs. It's not like I can't make this happen.
I mean, if y'all need anybody to play,
honestly, I'm half considering just bringing you back, and we'll just keep doing this chat show with just me and you.
I'm down.
Like we'll have a guest on occasionally, but it'll just be us.
Look at all the screen room. There's
so much room for room for
activities.
There is so much room for activities. I mean, what? It's not like I have a different overlays for different people. But yeah, yeah, Ray, absolutely. We'll make this happen. This is gonna, yeah, Nora's the co-host now.
Yay! I've invaded. The morning ritual was actually me solidifying.
It's just you taking control. It's just you. Yeah, okay.
It really does feel like we're just hanging out with a bunch of friends.
It really does, and I love this. I love this. I love the vibe of this stream. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this. So, hey chat, how are we feeling? We've been on for just about an hour now in order to complete control. We need your best arcane speak.
Oh, wait, hold on. In order to get, I gotta think of an incantation to take control of the show. Give me like two minutes and I'll think of something.
Noir will soon have a spin-off show. Yeah, if you go over to Encounter Roleplay, that's Dr. D&D. I mean, our first stream together was for Dr. D&D was me and him just bullshitting each other. Him playing a completely different character and me playing the same character that he's known me as before. So yeah, this is, I guess, technically a spin-off show of Dr. D&D, but on a different channel. So yeah, check out Encounter Roleplay if you want to see more content like that. Encounter Roleplay has a bunch of amazing shows and a lot of cool VODs, and yeah, check them out for sure on YouTube, and check them out on their Twitch channel. Also, check out Scraticus Academy. So I'm just going to start doing plugs and shoutouts right now. Yeah, check out Scraticus Academy, because that's where I met Ray, who is incredible and in chat right now, and Ray is a really good DM and a really good player and like incredible overall. Check out all these amazing people that are in chat, like Pure Myth. Nick is a player with me over on Joshua Barbeau's channel. When we're gonna get that back up and running, we'll figure that out pretty quick here. So then check out Husha Kid. Okay, you ready? You ready?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Invited here into your show. I had a plan you didn't know. The hour's late, it's time to go. My plan is hatched as I say no.
All right, cool. Yeah, you are now official co-host.
Yay!
I give you official co-host power.
The ritual is done.
The ritual is complete. Yeah, Husha Kid or Anthony, and I are supposed to be playing in as soon as we figure out scheduling, we're going to be playing in a Sentai game. We're playtesting Bob's Sentai game together. We have like a really cool concept. We're playing like cool Knights of the Round Table Zodiac Knights in space, and I really want to see it happen. We gotta figure that out because other Anthony is gonna be running the game. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Who else is in chat here? Who else is in chat that I could shout out and give love to? Floppy Jalopy. We all love Floppy Jalopy. Floppy Jalopy is incredible. Floppy Jalopy is in so many streams, and I can keep saying Floppy Jalopy all day long because I've taken my elocution lessons for the day. Deacon _R, or Riss. He is amazing and cool and like fantastic, and I love him to bits, and he shows up to some of my streams, and he's also a member of Critical Misses. He's over on our Discord channel, so if you pop over there, !Discord and chat. You can chat with all of us there as well. Also, who else? Jamie the Jedi. Jamie the Jedi is a real cool variety streamer over on Twitch. He plays retro games and Kingdom Hearts and like a bunch of cool things, and I might be married to him. I might have a piece of paper that says that I'm contractually obligated to say this, but I'm actually just saying this because I like him and he's cool. Enrian or Game Dad. Game Dad is awesome. We play in Trouble in the Second City together and is super rad.
He's my space bro.
He's your space bro, and he's like the angry father that I never had over on in Trouble in the Second City. The angry father that I never had. Yeah. So, do we want to keep going, chat? Is that a thing that we want to do? Do we want to keep chatting, or do we want to like cut this at like a tight hour? How are we feeling? How are we doing? How is everybody? What is everybody?
Give us heart emoji if you want us to keep going.
If you want us to keep going, hearts in chat. Hearts in chat.
Hearts in chat. They're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah. Nobody's watching anymore. We're done. Crafting used.
Oh, we got a heart.
We got a heart. we got.
One whole.
We got a pride heart. We got the pride heart.
Oh, we got 2 hearts.
We got hearts in chat. All right, I think we. Do you want to take like a 5-minute break? Or 10-minute break. I'll make some more coffee, and we'll probably pop back after that, and then, yeah. If that's cool with everybody, we're just gonna take a quick 10-minute break, take a bio stretch, and then we'll be back and we'll be chatting some more. And
okay.
All right, we'll see you then. I'm just gonna pop it back to the intro video. And we're back. Did you miss us? Who knows? All right. I can't hear you, Justin. Are you muted?
Yep, I'm muted.
Yeah, now we're back. Haha.
So I've made coffee instead of the wine.
I mean, I wouldn't have judged either way. I judged only a little with the wine because it was 11 a.m.
Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
That is fair.
Yeah, I do have Thieves' Cake. That's what I'm drinking now, and like I'm mad at how much I'm enjoying it because
that's what I've got right now too. I switched over.
My inner paladin is just like you should be enjoying it.
That's another class that I have a game that I'm playing offline. That's like quarantine D&D with our friend, my friend Graham, is running it, and I'm playing an arcane trickster, shifter, rogue. Oh, and I love him so much. I love them so much. Like, oh, such a good character. Their name is the Quixotic Quinshan. Lovely to meet you. And they are kind of gender fluid. Any pronouns kind of apply. And favorite class to play. I love sorcerers. I love sorcerers.
God,
I love wild magic sorcerers. That's easy.
God.
I don't even need to answer. I don't even need to like think about that. I just have to say.
I don't have one. I have 3.
Okay.
I have Paladin, Monk. Okay, so with Paladin, Paladin and Sorcerer to me feel like one class. They work so well together.
They do. They do have a lot of good, like, it's because they're both charisma based, right?
And you get to hit shit. So like I count that as one class, the Sorcerer, and then monks are amazing. And then barbarians, because how can you not love being a barbarian? Oh god, it's so much fun.
Jamie says Bard, Cleric, Ranger are his 3.
I feel like to really get the most out of Ranger, you have to have a solid DM.
Yeah, you have to have a good DM that knows the tiers of exploration, combat, and yeah.
I mean, because that's like their bread and butter. And if you have a DM that's just like, well, you're
in a city.
You guys travel for 2 days and then you're suddenly there. That takes the oomph out of the Ranger.
I'm with you there. Yeah. Bard, Wizard. Haven't tried the Rogue, Paladin, Monk, Barbarian yet. I mean, there's always one-shots.
Bard, Wizard. That's an interesting combo.
I mean, I think that's just the 2 favorite, Bard and Wizard.
But if I were gonna mix them,
but
I know
Bard,
exactly
Wizard.
I know exactly what subclasses I would go for. College of Whisper Bard, divination wizard.
Oh.
That combo is ugly. In fact, that's what
that would be
what I'm getting ready to do in Perilous Sun. In the Chromatic Chimera game I'm in on Thursdays. That's what Charm is gonna be. Because it's all about just, I know everything you did. And I'm gonna use that against you. Like that that is where it's at right there.
Yeah, Nick knows all about the Whisper Bards.
College of Whispers is one of the most unappreciated classes.
You can make real good villains out of Whisper class bards.
Exactly.
As a DM,
is, like, they're underpowered, but thematically, they're just so much fucking fun.
They're so good. So
like,
good.
I spent years in college studying, knowing your secrets.
Right?
Ooh, almost level 6.
Almost level 6. I know. We need to work on leveling up our characters. Yeah, Floppy says Justin and Charisma seems legit. That is 100% legit for you. You have high charisma, motherfucker. High charisma. I'm stuck here with a level 12.
High charisma does not equal attractiveness.
Hey, you know what? It is force of personality, and you have an amazing personality. And you are fucking handsome. You are incredible. You are talented. And I am going to... Okay, everybody, hearts in chat for if you love Justin and you think that he's handsome and you think that he's amazing.
Boo!
Throwing hearts in chat. I'm throwing flaming hearts in chat.
So I've got a question that I would love for you and chat to answer, which is what? Give me 3 situations that you would love to have your PC in that you have not been in D&D yet. I've got my 3, and I think giving my 3 could help frame the question better than how I asked it. Which is, I have never had a PC that was in a relationship.
Yeah.
At all.
I mean, I've had a PC that's in a relationship with Finny.
Yeah, with Finny.
But I've never actually had a romance.
Yeah, I've never had a PC that's in a romance, and I want that. I have.
Which PC? It's like which one, which PC? Yeah, I guess. Like, I think it depends PC to PC, but like, is for overall of your player characters.
Yeah, this is just me as any PC. I would love to have that happen.
I think I would too. Like, NPC or with another PC.
Oh. I don't. Like, there are pros and cons to
There's pros and cons to both.
You know what? I'll play with the PC. That would be fun. I think that would be really, really fucking fun. I mean.
Thanks, Lauren, for stopping by. I was really nice to see you in chat. Bye, Lauren. Lauren's amazing, by the way. Lauren Danger on Twitter. She teaches people how to sword fight. She's incredible. She taught me how to sword fight, and it was like the best, most fun that I had like last year. Like, we spent an afternoon in a public park. We squared it off with like safety cones, and we swung swords around. They're plastic swords, mind you, but they have the heft to them. They were so much fun. Yeah, Lauren. Yeah, Lauren, I'm calling you out.
Lauren, if I can't find you on Twitter, could you follow me on Twitter? But like, I just so I know, just so I can find you. Lauren.
Sword photo later today. Yes. Here, I'm just gonna do a quick.
I found her.
Yeah, you found her.
That's a badass. Yeah, that's a badass profile picture.
Right.
That.
Right.
Not fucking around.
No, Lauren is amazing. Yes, that's a thing that she does, and she's also part of Fighters Against Racism, and she's incredible and amazing and awesome, and I love her so much. Lauren Danger, Adventure Ranger.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a thing that she does. It's incredible. Follow her on Twitter, at Lauren Danger, and yes.
Sweet.
And yes. Also follow Justin on Twitter. Man is almost at NoirEnigma. Let me just do a quick thing here in chat. Let me just go to Nightbot. Let's just make a command here. Let's just go.
Fighters against racism. I love that. Like,
yes,
I am going to promote that whether you want me to or not.
Yes.
It's fucking bad.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people in like fighting and sword communities that are like super hateful, and because well, it's a bunch of white people, obviously. So
if it's anything
that
like
things
the LARP
happen.
community, I'm very fucking familiar.
Yep. Co-host. Let me just do a quick copy and a quick paste. Submit that one. Alright. Co-host! Haha!
Hey, happy.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, white male toxicity needs to be crushed. Needs to be stamped out. I'm with you there. Let's switch that back over to here.
Well, first off, any male toxicity, that's something that I wrestled with. Well, I'm not gonna. I wrestled with it a lot last night in the sense that I went back and looked at some old tweets of mine, and just to see like growth.
Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.
Just to see like
your growth as a person.
I make no qualms about the fact that I had a lot of growing to do, and I'm very proud of where I am now. I was never so bad that I was overtly hurtful, but I was comfortable with my ignorance, and I hate it. I'm not proud of that.
That's the thing. So it's like everybody has room to grow, and as long as like call me out on if I say something problematic, you fucking call me out on it, and I will make steps, and I will fucking correct myself.
And I think one of the things is to make
it's part of being a person.
Yeah, surround yourself with everybody so that you can learn from everybody.
Exactly.
If you're in the same groups, you're just gonna.
You hear the same voices.
You inherit that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And it almost radicalizes you in a way, for sure. Like
for sure.
Listening to the same people, listening to the same things. Like, we all have room to grow, and we need to be called out so that we know what to work on. And yes, absolutely, Floppy. And yeah, Nick says that it was helpful for him as a white male to learn what white fragility is. Because white fragility is fucking real, and I know that I have power as a white woman. If I start screaming bloody murder, that someone is hurting me.
I had an experience with that as well.
Yes, it's okay to be awkward, says Jamie. It's where you learn. You learn from being fucking awkward, and I have been awkward as fuck for years.
Oh
boy.
Exactly. You've got to learn. I think one of the biggest lessons you can learn as a human being is learning how to accept being checked.
Yeah.
Like the second you kind of look at being checked as a good thing, I think that's when you're officially on the road to being a decent human being. That's not
halfway
that's
decent.
Not the finish line.
No, not at all. Yeah. Everybody still has learning and growing to do as a person. Yeah, Nick says it's that knee-jerk defensiveness that's really hard to overcome, especially as like, well, absolutely it is. So if someone tells me that I'm a racist, or someone tells me that I'm saying something that's racist, your knee-jerk is like, no, I'm not. You automatically get defensive, right? But you're like, noted. I realized that thing that I said was kind of racist, and maybe I should check myself and check my language before I say these things.
It's the understanding that your intent is not the end-all be-all of the situation. You can have all the best intents in the world, but you don't get to control how what you did is received, and your intent does not make up for the reception.
Yeah.
And that's the hard lesson. Like, that's the lessons where it's just like, oh, okay, so even though I wasn't trying to be a fuck, I was still being a fuck. Gotta work on that.
Yeah, still gotta work on that. But yeah, you don't control how others feel by what was said or did. And if you apologize, here's the thing about apologies. The person that's receiving the apology doesn't have to accept it, and you have to live with that.
Yes, and that is hard.
And racism is yes, definitely a lot more than white supremacy. Jamie is correct there.
yeah,
we're getting from D&D into real talk territory, and I love this. I'm here for it.
The second half is where shit gets real.
Yes! You stuck around after the break? Well, guess what? Let's talk about systemic racism. Let's talk about the school-to-prison pipeline. Let's talk about all this bullshit that's going on in the world right now. Like, motherfuckers.
The dark
Black Lives
ritual.
Matter. The dark ritual. We are here for it.
I mean, it's kind of. I've always been, the black guy amongst a group of white people.
That's kind of, yeah, TTRPG and like
TTRPG, LARP,
LARP,
and the type of music that I play, like the singer-songwriter type shit. Like it's always like I've been very easy to spot.
Yeah, there's singer-songwriter is definitely a lot of white dudes with guitar.
I had so here's a story.
Oh yeah, tell me.
In one of the shows that I played a show for an individual that is signed, and they were doing a tour. They had just come off of doing a song for one of the Nicholas Sparks books, so they were like big, and they were in their tour. They were finding a bunch of local artists to kind of build up support for their local show, and then so on and so forth. And the way that works is like when they come on tour, if somebody is able to draw a certain amount of heat or a certain amount of people to show up to the show, oftentimes they'll extend an offer to have that person continue on with the tour. So I did my thing. I was able to draw about 50 to 75 people to this one show. And the exec for the record label told me, like, you've done very well, and generally we would try and extend an offer to you. Unfortunately, you just don't fit the profile of what we're looking for this tour.
That's a very gentle way of saying that. Yeah.
Oh,
did it get worse?
Oh yeah. And I was just like, well, just so that I'm prepared for the next time, what exactly is the profile? And like a lot of the reasons why I don't think that I'm not attractive, I know I'm not attractive, is because I did a lot of music stuff, and I tried to make that a thing, and it didn't work. And this exec kind of broke it down. It's just like, the profile for the traditional singer-songwriter is, a taller individual with this kind of clothing style, and they have to have a certain profile in pictures, and you're a little too big, you're a little too short, and traditionally the market for singer-songwriters aren't looking for people that look like you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and that's how he presented it. You understand what I'm saying? It was just like, oh right, short, chubby black dude, gotcha. And I think I could even find the tweets, because that was the lowest that I had been for some time. I kind of want to pull those tweets up now, because like I was there then, but I'm like here now.
Yeah, and you kind of want to see how far you've come. That's what it brings us. Yeah. Yeah, Jamie says attractiveness is relative, and Nick says that thanks for being here to share. Anytime you need to be heard or have someone to listen, just let us know. And Floppy says yes, please. Like, we love. This is why I wanted you on, because I know that you're like, you always have like a really good perspective on things, and you always mix it with that right blend of humor. Even though the conversations are hard and the conversations are awkward, it's never hard or awkward with you.
I mean, and a lot of it comes just from, you gotta laugh at your mistakes, and you gotta laugh at you. Well, you don't have to, but I cope by humor and by pettiness. Like, I'll be petty about a situation that happened, but like I'll try and infuse it with humor. And that goddamn
that executive from a unnamed record label that we will not disclose the title of.
That studio exec thing, it hurt me to the point where I couldn't laugh about it for a very long time.
But now you can.
Until I could. Yeah. And so, like, I think that's a good barometer for me personally for growth. It's just like, it's okay to be hurt and raw. Like, but, you know, just keep moving. And eventually you'll be able to look back at that and laugh at it. And that's when you know it's no longer a wound, it's just a scar. And that's a good thing.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
Oh, I'm definitely pulling up those
yes.
tweets. So.
Yeah. Your feelings are valid, says Jamie. And yes, absolutely, your feelings are 100% valid here. Like
thanks, y'all. I haven't talked about that since it happened. And, like, so that happened before the show. So I had to play after being told that, like, I have no future in this shit. No, I'm absolutely serious.
You got 75 people to the show to fill up, 50 to 75 people to the show to fill this up.
Yes.
They told you this and then you had to play?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And I gotta tell you though, that was the best show I ever put on because I was just like, fuck this guy.
yeah, because you're gonna, like, fuck this, I'm just gonna kill it because, like, fuck this, I'm just gonna be petty about this. And I love how, like, 90% of this is used just being, like, is salt.
And the thing is, the artist that was represented by this studio exec was a sweetheart. Like, me and him were in the green room, just hitting it up, laughing, chuckling, just having a good time. I didn't tell him about what his exec had said, but it was just like after I had that conversation, I went back into the green room, and there was a little bit of tension because I was a salty bitch. That was completely on me, not this guy. And, like, I went on stage and I fucking dusted him. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to destroy you because you.
I love you.
Bad people.
You're beautiful. You're wonderful. But now you must die. Now I will take you out. Yeah, exactly. Flavi says she's heard your music and you know nothing. Like, I have showed your music to, like, my family members and they fucking love you. Like, my nephew the other day, because I was watching the other night when you were just like, I miss bars, and you just did, like, a live stream of you playing things, and you were just playing, like, Disturbia, I think, on guitar, and he's just like, holy shit, he's killing it!
Yeah, like, I miss playing, and I've been writing. I actually, so here's something that I've been embarrassed to tell you and Nick about, honestly. I have some songs that are heavily inspired by the company Adventures that I had started writing, and, like, it's not so obvious about their adventures, but that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I once COVID fucks off, you know, should we ever get a leader that's capable of dealing with this like a responsible adult, I cannot wait to go back to the studio and, hey, stop that. Go back to the studio and, like, to start putting out shit again. It's
yes. What was this about? You played a show a couple, like, the thing where you posted the update. When was that? It's like you wanted to play at the House Blues, and then you.
Oh, when so was that was I was going through old texts, old tweets, and I forgot that, like, one of my tweets was, "This heart doesn't stop beating until I play the House of Blues," and a year later,
you played the House of Blues.
And, like, I've been part of my
puddings.
Puddings.
Hot puddings.
Like, part of, I did that for therapy because my therapist was just like, you need to stop moving for a second and take account of your wins, because I never do, and that's all that was last night.
Oh, that was nice though. Yeah, it's going good, Puddins. We are doing a little bit of, we're chatting. We were talking TTRPG related stuff. We got into some deep truths, and Justin said, or not Justin, Nick says, thanks for sharing that, Justin. It means a lot. COVID has indeed fucked up all of our mental health and creativity. Creativity's definitely been huge for a lot of people, I think, including Nick. But yeah, things are going pretty well. This is like we're in our second hour of this stream because like we just can't stop yapping at each other for 2 seconds. But yeah, welcome to this. We started off with TTRPG Alexander Hamilton, but as MMA fighters, so it was Alexander Slamilton. So this is going to be the recap. So yeah, Alexander Slamilton. So I think I might be. We'll see if I can do that. I will run that game maybe sometime soon, as a one shot possibly. And then yeah. What else did we do? We talked about favorite classes, like, we talked about racism, because that comes up. But yeah, definitely a session that Anthony would like to be in. Husha Kid. We'll see if we can make it happen. After July 3rd, when Hamilton comes out on Disney+, I'm gonna maybe have a look at that. And, we'll see what we can do about that. Yeah, so we're just sort of having a good bullshit session, really. And I actually, oh yeah, the other thing is now Justin's my co-host. There was a ritual, it happened, he is now my co-host from now until eternity. Such is the blood pact that we signed during the break. Yep.
Sacrifices were made.
Yep. It happened.
Oh my.
Yeah. Alright. I have a question.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Has there ever been, like, a character or, like, role play? Like, we got into this a little bit before this stream started when we were talking about it. Has there ever been a character or, like, role play where you got too deep into character and there was bleed through?
Ooh. Shoot. Yeah, I mean, I know it's happened. It's kind of weird trying to recall those moments because there's like a fog.
Oh yeah, like when you really get into character, there's always like this weird veil that you find falls over you. Because
yeah, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, me. No, go because I need to think. This is
so yeah. I know that there's been bleed through for sure. Like definitely in With the Bricks campaign on Scraticus. Yeah, exactly. Anthony has, but yeah, with the Brick on Scraticus. This is gonna get a little bit deep. So for those of you who don't know, content warning. My mom passed away a couple weeks ago from cancer. Super quick progression, like. It was the grizzly bear of cancers. So, exactly. Sometimes you get stuck in an accent. That happened with me on a one-shot that I did. But yeah, with Finny, a lot of the times when I was talking with Finny and when he was being a character who was grieving for his wife, a lot of it was me as the grieving kid trying to, like, process the fact that her mother was going. So, like, a lot of the times when you see real emotion on my face when I say something as Finny, that's just me. That's just Anita being right there in that moment with him, like, trying to also help process this. Like, but yeah, I got stuck in an accent once after one shot at the Scraticus campaign. We did a sexy space dinosaurs with Kent Weebs and Madame Gandalf and Riddler, and, like, I got stuck as Lucy the dinosaur. I got stuck as Lucy for a little bit there. And then, like, I could not lose that voice afterwards. Like, I was done. I was stuck in, like, this deep mode. Yeah, I got into a character zone as a DM before, so you hear that, for sure. But yeah, like, sometimes, like, I'll be playing in other games, like my Star Trek RPG character. A lot of the times I'll be processing, like, things that are happening in my real life, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm feeling these emotions that this character is feeling right now. There's always that bleed through. But yeah, that night was amazing, Floppy. Oh god, that was like people still talk about that. Like, Weebs still, whenever he sees me in chat, Kent Weebs will just, like, go off about how I played this dinosaur that was, like, real dumb. I played a real dumb dinosaur. And I somehow magically found a cowboy hat.
That was the horny space dinosaur cowboy game.
Actually, yeah. Like, we only did a night of laughter. Actually, like... The night before that happened, my mom gave me the final diagnosis on her, so, like, RPGs are amazing because, like, I went from being the lowest point ever when I found out about my mom to, like, being a stupid, dumbass, motherfucking horny dinosaur on channel, and, like, it's like, we're all friends here, I'm just being a character, for sure. Like, yeah, definitely check in afterwards, like, and that's what we did, is, like, after, the final episode of Rotting Shadows, when I was, like, breaking down and, like, just emotionally exhausted, a lot of us were just like, okay, love you all, this is amazing, we're gonna take some time to decompress, and then we'll get back to, like, a lot of the things that need to be resolved afterwards. Like, a lot of it, there was a lot of high emotions and high tension in that last episode, for sure. But have you ever had that, though? Like, the bleed through with, like...
Yes. I officially recall the moment where I fully merged.
Yeah.
It was one of my first 5th edition games. I was playing the elf Mortis of the Thalaco clan, and he was a wood elf that was very fond of humanity, and he snuck away from his village and to sneak into a human village, and there he met Natalia, who was this human girl that was curious about elves, and so they built a friendship. She taught him how to read and speak common, and he taught her about his elven stuff, and they just became the best of friends, which was completely illegal in his tribe. So he officially left his tribe to go adventuring, just like he read in all the human books, and Natalia had snuck off to join him without him knowing, and this was in the Cursed Mines of Fandalen or Fandelver,
yeah,
whatever.
Mines of Phandalin.
Yeah, Phandalin, and the BBEG kidnapped her, of course. But more than that, she fell ill to the there's like a death curse in that game or something.
Yeah.
And so she was sick, and she had been kidnapped, and he found the person that took her with this black spider cult.
Yeah, I think that's actually a thing in the setting for sure.
Yeah, and so he freed her, but she was still sick, and he was just like, I freed you now. I want you to feel better, but more than that, the guy who took you is downstairs. My inclination is to kill him, but I'll do what you get to be the judge, jury, and executioner. And she was just like, oh yeah, totally fucking kill him. And like the moment she said that, like, it was just like, there was no Noir, there was just Mortis, and in this moment there was one goal. and the party had a paladin that was just like not about it. It was like, hey, whoa, we're not gonna do this. And, like, I love these moments where it's just like what the character wants is so clear.
Yeah, you've got that crystallization moment
where it's just like, oh, you could offer me level 20 right now, and I'll be like, no. You can give me all the magic items.
Give me a wish.
I'll be like, no. Like, I've got my goal. Fuck off. And he did him in pretty nasty. He delivered what I think was one of the coolest monologues I've ever come up with on the spot at him. Like, he was holding him, delivering this monologue while tying a noose with the mage hand. So
oh shit. Yeah, Putin says, I think we've all done a little processing through RPGs or learning about other experiences with it, which is amazing. Oh, yeah, like, you and I became friends through RPGs.
It was immediate!
And it was like 1 session 0. We didn't even know each other before that, and we just immediately clicked.
It was crazy. Like, and the characters were so different. Because
like, they couldn't be more different.
Yeah, I had gotten the instructions to, like, my instructions are basically, for the first couple of sessions, you are the bad guy. And I was just like, okay, I can rock with that. And yet we still, like, it still clicked.
I had no instructions. I had, you have been captured by this death cult. That's all I had. And then, like, oh, I have a captor. Oh, I could play with this. Yeah, Floppy was there for my first streamed episode. Yeah, immediate was the word. Yeah, it was just like, I think at one point it was just like, we're best friends. And you hesitated. And everyone was just like, wait, hold up. This asshole who has almost killed the entire party hesitated when someone said they were best friends.
Like, it was very... And the thing is, like, okay, so the reason that I enjoyed that so much was Rin/Hal was a very easy to... He was very easy to get into that merge headspace where it was just like, this is the goal, do it.
He was very singular-minded and very focused, for sure.
Right. And, I mean, but because of the people around him, because of the party that he made up with, and that party is still just
it is a good collection.
A+ people. I cannot say that enough. Like, the cast of the company and the Grey Wolf are just stellar. Like, it made it very easy to get into that headspace, but still have enough wiggle room to be like, I'm a rehabilitating bad guy, but I kind of get why what I was doing was wrong.
You understand the concepts of why that was wrong, but I don't think Rin ever fully understood. I think Rin was on his way to understanding why what he did was wrong, but I think
he was being spoon-fed empathy by Odd and Celadine.
That's true.
And seeing, like, it's just weird going through all of this. Like, just seeing Nick.
Oh yeah, and like hearing Ondar and Rin, like because spoilers for Company of the Grey Wolf, one of the characters actually is a betrayer. Actually is the bad guy, and that's Ondar, who's our party bard, is at this point under the control of a mind flayer and has been since before the stream even started. Yeah, whispers. Always whispers. But yeah, the conversations that Rin and Ondar would have were like both two sides of the exact same coin, where he's just like, well, I have to be loyal. And she's like, well, I have to be loyal to the matron, who is Rin is a death monk of the Raven Queen. It's like, oh, well, we both understand each other. Then, you know this.
So the little bit of empathy that he was learning from Odd and Celadine was enough to make him go, look, take a second, stop seeing Ondar as the target and start seeing him as Ondar, and then he was able to go, holy shit, he's me.
Just from a different angle.
Maybe instead of the goal being kill this guy, it should be save this guy. Because if he can be saved, then I can be saved.
If I can find... That's actually kind of the thing, that was one of the big conversations with Odd, or she's Ophelia now, but Odd at the time, was you think that killing him is going to be the way that you redeem yourself. You think that you betrayed your people. You think that killing a betrayer is going to set everything right. It's not. You're just going to kill yourself. Like, that little piece of yourself that has hope for redemption is gone the minute that you pull that trigger.
That's what I look for in parties, and just in TTRPG in general. It's just like, the second that you stop focusing on trying to be cool and you just focus on being a person, that's when you get the best stories and the best TTRPG moments.
Oh yeah.
Because nothing about Rid was about being cool. Like it was about, this is who I am and I'm going to express myself that way. But I'm not so stubborn that I can't see when there's an error or when things need to change. Now, the amount of pressure that it takes to change might vary.
Yeah.
But he's still willing to change. And I think that is the lesson that I've taken from RPGs. And some of the moments in TTRPG where I haven't enjoyed myself is when either I or I've been dealing with somebody that is so laser focused on being cool that they aren't being a person.
Yeah. What was it I saw the other day? It's like you win D&D and you win RPGs when you stop trying to win RPGs.
Exactly.
It's like this is how it works. Like, you don't, like, honestly, that's, I think, brings us back to that last point where it was like we're talking about how like what you need to build a good character. And I think what you need to build a good character is just that human connection. I think you ultimately just need to play them like a person. And I think that's kind of what I've always done when I've acted or when I've been in shows or when I've done these things, is I've always been like, okay, forget about this character, forget about like who this person is or what they want. Think about me. Think about me in that situation. What would I do? What would I want if I was, like, not even if I was this person, but me as a person. Like, yeah, the human connection. Absolutely. One day we'll find it. The human connection.
I see what you did there.
Lovers, the dreamers, and me. But yeah, it's like you want to know, it's basic empathy. It is seeing yourself in this situation and like being at that point where you know that you're hungry or you're desperate or you're whatever, and how would you feel in that situation? And I think that's why a lot of people that play like good characters in good RPGs are basic empathetic human beings. Basic, like, good, just you do your best, right? You do your best to think of what another person would feel in that situation. Empathy is 100% key. And those are the best people, is when they're empathetic and when they have the best intentions, I think.
Absolutely. Like, I think it really, empathy is the key to me to amazing TTRPG moments, because it's just like, you have to understand that you are not the protagonist. You know, like, it's about the group. Like, it seems simple, but it takes time to learn.
Yes.
Like
you can't always showboat.
Right. You can see it with a lot of people that are new to the hobby, because you pick up a controller and you play a video game, and it's about you. It's about how sick your combo is. It's about how sick your 360 no scopes are. But with TTRPG, it's different. It's not even about it. My favorite moments don't involve combat, but my favorite moments in combat are emotional ones. It's where
that character that you love that's made of glass goes down, and the entire party gels.
Exactly. Or even like, one of the things that I love doing is, look, everybody who plays a wizard can cast the same spells, but how does the spell that you cast express who your character is? Like, what is it about the way you cast Fireball that
different,
differs from the way that everybody else casts? Like, where is it coming from in you?
Yeah, it's kind of like Dottie in Trouble in the Second City. Like, you're like, okay, well, she's got an Eldritch Blast. Every warlock has Eldritch Blast. What is different about Dottie's Eldritch Blast? And I'm like, well, it's ruby red or emerald green, because it's all based around Wizard of Oz.
I love that. It's just the little touches that you can add to it that just makes that makes everything fucking dope. Like, you don't have to get the how do you want to do this.
No.
Like, you can empower your teammates to do something awesome, and if you express it in a way that's meaningful, it's just as amazing as if you killed the BBEG yourself.
Yeah.
You know, let's just
take it and make it yours, right, Floppy? Take it and make it yours.
Yes, be selfless. Think about the team and tell the story. That's all it's about.
Yeah. Empathy.
Empathy. Like,
it's not just about empathy with your character, it's about empathy with the other players at the table and giving them the time for sure.
And understanding where the camera is and being willing to let someone else have the spotlight.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Hey, look at that. And that's how you get a good flow going. Because honestly, what makes a good TTRPG stream to me is flow, where there's like very little arguing about the rules, very little, but I was over here, but now I'm over there. Like, okay, so now we're gonna get into some shit.
All right, let's
what
get into
are
some shit.
Your TTRPG pet peeves? I've got one that's ready to go in the chamber, and it's this.
Do it.
I can't stand when character A is over here in this room, but something interesting is happening to character B in that room, and suddenly character A is in that room with character B. Like,
oh, you're here now? I like to call people out on that with that. Oh, you're here now? I thought you were over there.
I hate that with a furious motherfucking passion. I hate it. I hate it.
It's like, that's why I'm retiring one of my characters one session in. Story-wise, it makes sense, and a lot of things happen that will lead them to leave the party. Yeah, it's okay to leave, like, it's okay to leave a group, and it's okay to leave a party if you feel that that's the way that the character is going. 100%. That's actually, yeah, that's Justin left Company of the Grey Wolf. Because a lot of things happened, and we found a way to make narrative sense for the character to leave. Character and the player to leave.
I mean, the number one rule of TTRPG community, to me, is to make sure that you take care of yourself first and foremost. There's nothing that you should endure that you feel that you shouldn't. That you shouldn't endure anything that makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
And just because something makes you uncomfortable does not mean that it's bad. It's just making sure that you take care of yourself. Sometimes there's misunderstandings. Sometimes it's just a difference of culture. Mm-hmm. But, you know, take care of yourself first. There's no good... That doesn't make you a good guy. It doesn't make you a bad guy. It makes you human. And it's okay to be human. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, yeah, pet peeves. Mine is... okay, so I don't like it when when people talk over other players. That fucking pisses me off. Like, if a character is having a scene and they're having a moment and the DM is letting them have that moment, let them fucking have that moment and, like, before butting in. Don't butt in.
Know where the camera is.
Know where the camera is.
Like, that's the number one rule that I have in my games. It's just like, there are gonna be times where, look, we all understand that there have been games where we're the face, and there are games where we're not the face. And some people are more comfortable with being in front of the camera than not. And one of my goals as a DM is to make sure that everybody has that hero moment.
Yeah.
And if I'm giving the quiet person a hero moment, don't...
Loudmouth, don't butt in. Fuck off.
Just fuck off. It's very easy to do. Just fuck off.
Just fuck right off. I'll fight you. Chat, I will fight you.
Our TTRPG commandments. Empathy and fuck off.
And fuck off. That should go on a t-shirt. Empathy and fuck off. One time in a session, me and these two other players were in a fight regarding a hag. Two other players were away investigating and immediately came back when they realized that we will win the fight and they wanted the XP. Yeah, fuck that. If you don't know that's happening, you don't fucking metagame. Like, I don't know this is happening. I do that, like, I try to remind myself when I'm playing in games for sure.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 rules at the table, empathy and fuck off.
I buy that shit. Look, you're getting merch ideas already.
I mean, we'll get mugs with empathy and fuck off. Hi, Alien Jays. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Empathy and fuck off.
There is a character type that I'm kind of getting sick of.
Oh, yeah?
Playing against. And it is, and there's always one. And like, I understand, like, there's room for growth in it, but I'm still getting sick of it. Which is the smarmy, like, how do I fucking put this? The guy that always talks shit.
So the overconfident sort of character, or like
the character who tries to exude cool by shitting on other people.
Oh, fuck that guy.
I'm sick of that archetype. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, that was I kind of dove into that a little bit with Finny. Like, unfortunately, Finny was shitting on Scrat's character Barry quite a bit, and I didn't mean to. It's just, the things that I'd say in the moment would be like, oh shit, I just realized that that's just kind of a sick burn against Barry, and I'm really sorry. I don't mean this. Yeah, self-absorbed, standoffish characters.
Yes, like...
I like that with a heart of gold, but like, honestly, you need to find that heart real quick. Real quick.
Real fucking like, and the thing is, like, I think I've run into it so much that I'm just like, I'm fucking over it.
Yeah, it is.
I've done it myself.
I've done it too.
And like, now I'm checking myself when I make a character. I'm like, am I that guy? Because if I'm that guy, I'm blowing that character up.
Yeah. Shut it all down. It's like the players that think they're a better DM than the DM.
Oh, fuck those guys.
I'm guilty of being a little bit of a rules lawyer. I have a curse, and my curse is that I generally learn the rules to RPGs real quick.
I need your help with Urban Shadows.
I can help you out with that. I know PBTA games.
Okay, I'm trash at it.
Oh yeah, I can tell you. A lot of the things is just like waiting for the players to make a move, and being like, okay, it sounds like you're trying to do this. Would you be able to roll this? It's like, it's a lot of active listening with PBTA games.
I've learned that another skill to acquire.
Yeah, rules lawyer, but try not to overstep. That's kind of what I do. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
I realize that as a white voice at the table, I need to like stop myself a lot of the time for sure. Bad at being GM's helper. Yeah, that's kind of me. That's kind of me.
So to that point, I think that rule lawyers can be useful if they understand the rhythm of the game.
Absolutely.
And here's what I mean by that. You can totally be a rules lawyer if you understand how to inform the table of the rules without fucking up the rhythm of the game.
Yeah,
and
like,
that is...
don't like, oh, you missed that. You have 2 attacks per round. You missed one. You should do one right now. But like, wait for like a good opportunity to like maybe just say off the side, hey, you have 2 attacks per round. Fair warning. But like, do that sort of on the sly. Like, if you're playing in an online game, do it in the chat. Don't interrupt the game to say, oh, by the way, you forgot this rule. You forgot that you forgot that without the Warcaster feat, you can't do you can't have a shield up at the same time. You can't have a shield up at the same time as casting the somatic components. You can't have a shield or a weapon without the Warcaster feat, so you're gonna have to drop those. You're gonna have to use your free item interaction to drop those, and you're going to have to start doing your somatic components again.
And here's the key for rule lawyers, that I think this one thing separates the rule lawyers that are tolerable to the ones that you immediately want to set on fire, which is whenever you offer the official ruling at the table, you should do so with the presumption that the DM will say no and be fine with it. if you come, like, if I go, hey, just so you're aware, da 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 da, but I mean, we can run it however. That's different than no, that you can't do that because this is
this is the rule.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, that guy you want to set on fire.
I mean, honestly, like I do the thing. When I say a rule or when I do that, I always try to like, okay, you're the GM. Here's, like, I try not to push it in so much. I try to be like, this is how that works. Or if someone asks, like, how does this work? Okay, this is how that works. Yeah, it's like right now I brought a lot of my friends to D&D and they ask for confirmation with the DM and I try to help them when they ask. Yeah, that's 100% what I do. Like, because that's kind of my whole thing is with Critical Misses, it started off as a in-person, this is the way. In-person games, and a lot of it is like teaching newbies how to play D&D, and like so I try to like be as gentle as I can with just letting them know how things work or how the rules work, and it's actually made me better at like not being quite so much as of a rules lawyer because I give people a lot of I have spoken. I try to give people gentle guidance more so than being like, this is how this works. Gentle guidance, I think, is different from inserting the rules as they are, absolutely. Like, okay, like, just so you know, you can do, like, these are your options. What you do is up to you. I've spoken.
So, I have another pet peeve.
What's your pet peeve? Hit me.
And you and I actually talked about this with Rin and Odd, which is I hate what I call chick tethers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
A chick tether is a guy who defines their character by hovering, controlling, and manipulating female players' characters. I hate that with a fucking furious passion. It bothers me, and I don't know that I'm explaining what they are correctly.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, but you can go ahead.
So to me, it's just like, okay, an example that I was in a game with. God, fucking damn it! Like, just even thinking about this pisses me off. I was in a game with a friend of mine, and she was playing like this this yandere cleric healer type. Like she was a healer, but she was like psycho. Oh, okay. And it was like a really cool mix. And this guy was playing your traditional edgelord warlock.
Fuck edgelords.
And whenever she would try,
that's another one of my pet peeves is edgelords.
Oh, fucking.
Unless they're done right.
Oh, this dude. Like, okay, so here's how bad it is. After playing in this game, I have a draft in my Word documents of projects that I want to do, and it's called the That Guy Bible. The guide to identify and quell that guys at the table. And so one of the things that he would do is whenever she would go and try to do something psychotic, just like nuts, like he would like, no, you can't do that. I have to protect you. You know, I won't allow you to do that. And so he's making it so that she can't be her character because he wants to be like the guardian, protect the fair maiden, not understanding that this character's not the fucking fair maiden, and that she at no point agreed to have any relation with
character.
His character. He saw a female player
and he grasped
playing
on
a female character and tethered himself to her and just completely nullified her enjoyment at the table. And so
because like it affects player agency too.
Fucking like it did nothing for the story. It didn't do anything for his story because the DM was trying to get this to stop by having his backstory basically knock at the door and go, hey, I'm your backstory, you should probably pay attention to me. And he was so busy cock-blocking her character advancements and character growth that he just completely ignored his backstory. It was just like...
Yeah, we need to mass produce that book and send it to DMs. Now we got a book, shirts and mugs, merch is popping off. But yeah, it's creepy. It's unnecessary, yeah. Even if it's all imagination, it's still, like, yeah. Yeah.
And I was
Because that's the thing is like, and that's the thing is, it's not always players that are guilty of it. Sometimes DMs are guilty of this too, and it's like taking a female character and like tangentially attaching them to another character, to another male character. Like making pairings is fine. To be clear, like making pairings in your games is fine, but you need to make sure you have both players on board with the pairing, right? That's kind of one of the things is like with Rin and Odd, it was paired because of the DM. But that was the thing, is Odd was very much her own character. And like Rin also knew when to pull back. And Justin as a player knew when to pull back. And not like impede his will over top of her.
I was fucking terrified. Like I think we had several conversations.
Oh, we did.
Like, hey, if I tell me, you say the word and Rin fucks off. Like
know when to throw the axe up for sure.
Yeah. I mean, because you can have like the thing that upsets me about that guys at the table is that they take things that can be beautiful and they just pour shit all over it, so that when people that are responsible, respectful, and insightful want to kind of play with those things, like if you had played a game with the chick tether, I would absolutely not be surprised or upset by you going, I want nothing to do with Rin. Get him the fuck away from me.
Absolutely.
And like I understand, respect, and appreciate that wasn't the case. But if it was, we would have missed out on some of my favorite RP moments. And there are probably people out there that have missed these moments that can be beautiful, where you have like two characters that are tethered to each other because some fuckhead earlier down the line didn't understand boundaries or consent or respect.
Absolutely. Like you need to definitely come at your other players. It comes back to empathy. Like you need to understand that these aren't just NPCs. Like these are actual like people with actual feelings behind the characters as well. And you need to understand that like, oh shit, am I crossing a line here? If I am, please either throw up the N to let me know that I'm getting close, or throw up the X to let me know that I've crossed it. Or just throw up the O to let me know if it's okay.
Yeah, and there are ways to express that overprotective, overbearingness that doesn't affect the
player
other
agency.
person's character.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, like with Ophelia, honestly, I don't know if she even actually cared about him stepping on her boundaries. Because, like, she was just, like, I don't know.
She just did it anyway.
Did it anyways. Like, if Friend says it's a bad idea, then I should probably do it, was basically her idea, was her motto.
Okay, so here's an example, I think, to my own horn, of, like, a way you can be an overbearing, overprotective person without fucking up somebody else's player agency. Which was, there are several times in combat instances where I would put herself in danger, and Rin would jump in and take the hit. It shows that he's overbearing, it shows that he's overprotective, and he can say, hey, don't fucking put yourself in danger, but there's nothing that he's doing that stops you from going, I'm gonna put myself in danger.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like, a lot of the times it was like... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the toxic version of that. And what this guy would do is he would jump in the way and try and grapple you so that you couldn't then get in any more danger, or use some sort of ability to like get you to not be you. And that is like,
no, definitely don't step on other players' agency. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Yeah, overbearing players. I think that's kind of when I was going off on like what my pet peeves are. It's definitely that. It is that guy. That guy is my pet peeve. 100%. 100% of the way. Because I've been at so many tables where it's just like, oh, you're the only girl at the table. Well, fair maiden, let me protect you, milady.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I've been playing this game longer than you've been around. So like.
and the thing is, like, everybody looks at Critical Role and they see the Percy and the
Vex
Thalia
Thalia.
relationship, and they want to emulate that. And I think one of the things that I would have loved if Critical Role did was to have the out of game conversations that no doubt Liam and Laura must have had, which is just like, oh not Liam and Laura, Jesus, that would have been ooh. But you know, Taliesin and Laura must have had, because you characters being in a relationship, PCs being in a relationship, it has to be agreed upon by both players. You can't just decide to be in a relationship. You can't. To me, you can't even decide to crush on another player unless you fucking discuss it. Like,
yeah, you talk about these things with that character first. You're just like, hey, Justin, I want to have a relationship with your character. Like, I think that this would be an interesting plot line to do. And you also discuss it with your DM as well, or your GM as well. And you're like, I think that this would be interesting and compelling. Let's try this. Like, and you make sure that consent is there every step of the way. But yeah, Anthony says, there was one time I was playing an Amazonian kind of setting. I was a male servant, kind of problematic in its own thing, definitely. And every time I would assist in serving the female master, the DM would twist it as me stepping out of line and protecting them. When they're my tether, wouldn't it make sense? It would only make sense if I watched her die. Like, I used magic to warm them up on a snowy mountain, and they were like, your servant is stepping out of line. Like, no, I don't see that for sure. Like, you definitely... That's literally what a servant would do. That's like, no, this is my person. This is what I do for them. And, like, you need to make sure that there's consent with the players, and you need to make sure there's consent with the DM. And, I mean, it's kind of like you're all at the table together, and you're all in this together telling this story. So you need to make sure that everybody's on board before you go forward with these things, for sure.
And honestly, to run a PC relationship, I think that's something that needs to be brought to the entire table.
I agree.
And that might seem like overkill, but it's not. Because it is a drastic change to party cohesion, and it doesn't just affect two players. It doesn't just affect two players and the DM. It affects everybody at the table. So everybody at the table should have to say.
Yeah.
If one person at the table is uncomfortable with it, then you just don't do it.
Yeah, you also need to make sure that everybody's comfortable, and, like, you need to know where those lines get drawn. Like, I like player romance. I like player interaction. I like these things. But I do not want sex at my table. And I don't want characters prancing around naked in my games. Not me specifically, I'm just saying this as a person. Yeah. But yeah, like, obviously TOS with Twitch, you can't describe anything in graphic ways anyways. But yeah, protecting the maiden only works if all the players are on board. Definitely.
And people need to understand, and I would almost change the language of that, which is anybody can be the maiden.
Anybody.
I think that is something that the community needs to, like, really sit down and digest. Mm-hmm. Because I've gotten my sister into TTRPG. I've had a lot of
and curtains.
Huh?
And curtains would be a useful phrase when it's called the veil. You say, okay, and we fade to black.
Drop it. I've got my sister into TTRPG.
Yeah, you did.
I got my ex into TTRPG, and, like, I've had a back seat into the experience that they've had in the community. Mm-hmm. It's not fucking cool.
No, it's not.
It's really. I'm an idiot, so I learn best by experiencing things, and I try to be very honest about, like, oh, I learned this thing, and here's how I learned it. And a lot of shit that we're all comfortable with is not fucking cool. Like, and it's just, there is the presumption among people that I've seen that a level 5 fighter played by a guy and a level 5 fighter played by a woman are not equal. And I hate that.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Sorry, yeah, I was trying to mess around with my screens. I realized I keep looking over here because I have a screen here, and that's where the chat is, and then I look over here to where the OBS is, and I'm like, where do I look? Which camera do I look at?
I always know that I'm going full Stevie Wonder. It's okay.
Definitely.
I hate that.
I agree. Like I've definitely been at tables where like there have been dudes there that will talk over me, or think that I'm only there because my partner or my like people are there with me. Like fuck you. I love this shit.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and then they'll think that they need to protect me or they need to. It's like it's not like there's a female fighter class. They're both literally fighters. Exactly.
Exactly.
Fighter is a gender neutral term.
And there's something that I've experienced recently, which it's inspiring and it breaks my fucking heart at the same time. Which is there's somebody that I played with a lot that was always kind of meek and quiet, and recently they've been playing a game with no guys about. And they're fucking brilliant. And what bothers me is just that they were playing a character that was not meek and quiet, but they were playing it meek and quiet because they would often be shut down by the guys at the table. And like I told you, like one of my focuses is to make sure that everybody gets a hero moment.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, like I would successfully make sure that this person got a hero moment, but they would never have that Captain America moment where they lead the group because they refused to take that, and the group kind of refused to give that.
Yeah.
And so seeing them in a different game, different setting, different people, where they didn't have to worry about that. Some of the most creative, brilliant, and just unexpected problem solving I've ever seen came from this person. It was just like, where was this?
It was hidden.
And I didn't ask that. It's not even hidden. It's muted. Like people have grown so accustomed to playing with people acting and thinking the way that they have diluted themselves.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize that they've done it. And I hate that.
Jace says, it's just imagination. Anyone can do that. I've been lucky to have amazing players and GMs, but I've heard many horror stories. I have my own horror stories, for sure. And I think we'll get into that, like, at a different time. But yeah, it's like with the Sentai test play, Anthony says, I want my character to be more, I'm gonna outdo others, but not make it seem like I'm protecting the other teammates. I mean, yeah, there's those people, but yeah, a lot of people definitely get more reserved. Like, I know when I first started playing RPGs, I was definitely the most reserved person at the table because I also didn't have that much self-confidence. I've definitely grown a lot as a person, and I've been a lot more vocal and outspoken as a DM. DMing has improved me as a player, I think. Do you think that? Yeah. Do you find that too?
Oh, absolutely. Knowing all the things that the DM is handling, I think you start to realize that doing more helps them. Like, as a player that hasn't DM, you kind of think, well, I'm just going to say that I attack and roll the die, and then I'm going to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And when you become a DM, you realize that the player that goes, I rolled a 17, does it hit? Yes, it hits. Okay, so I take my great sword, and with all of my might, I swing overhead just like my master taught me, and the blade buries itself into the monster's chest, cleaving it almost to the bone. Like, you realize that doing that as a player is helpful for the DM, and it's helpful for everybody else at the table because it gives them permission to go, oh, so we get to paint with all these colors. Okay, cool. like if you don't DM, you don't realize it.
You don't realize that there's a lot of cognitive load, absolutely, as a DM as well that you have. Floppy says that they were terrified during the first game. The group made sure to be patient and encouraged me to do better. And like if you have a good group and you have a good GM, they will like find ways to say, okay, well, what is this player doing? What are you doing in this moment? It's like I adore players that fluff out their turns because you're more about the scene and the context. Yeah, if things go better or worse, yeah, you have more things to work with, definitely, as a player and as a GM. Like, oh, hey, this is so cool. Let's change this. Like, yeah, what idea am I trying to say? How you defeat this monster? Like, how do you want to do this moment? But it's not just how you defeat this monster. It's like, how do you get to that point? Like, what happens?
Every die roll you make, to me, gives you the opportunity to have just as, like, Critical Role has conditioned us to, like, it's wonderful that it's done this. It's conditioned us to unlock the floodgates on our imagination when we kill the thing. We kind of go, oh, I killed the thing. I get the treat of being able to...
Yeah, there's that little bit of a Pavlovian...
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, I get to wild the fuck out. No, you get to wild the fuck out anytime you roll the die. Like, it's not a treat. It's the meal. So if you're like, okay, roll an athletics check, you don't just go, I rolled 20. Do I succeed? Like, it's you roll 20, you succeed. Okay, cool. So, you know, I grab the rock, I look back at the party, and I kind of do a couple of pull-ups to brag, and then I pull myself up into a flip, and I land on the cliff.
Exactly. Like, it's like planning your turns in advance. Yeah. Or planning your turns in advance helps the GM as well. And yeah, if you're playing this at Alien's table, you're just as much writing the story as they are.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely you are. Absolutely you are. Yeah, you definitely, like, you have a stake in the story, and you have things that you need to do. Like, 100% you do. And like even rolling a 1 or rolling a low on a check is fun. Instead of just saying like, oh, I don't do it. Just, you have a chance there to fluff that out, because failure is also where plot happens. And that's kind of like the motto for our Star Trek Adventures game that I play it during my home game, is like, yeah, if you roll a failure, or in that game it's Star Trek Adventures, you roll high to fail, roll low to succeed. If you roll a 20, it's a failure with a complication. And that's where the interesting things happen. Like, I want to let that complication stand because I want to see the way the plot moves forward if I fail. That's just as much important. Like, if you fail a roll, you can fluff that out too. You can say, okay, well, I failed this athletics check. I start to slip as I'm climbing these rocks. Someone's going to have a chance to catch me.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing. Failure, to the goal for me personally, like, this is like in Second City, they teach you that in improv, funny is the bullseye. Funny is on the outside of the bullseye. You don't aim for funny.
No.
You aim for honest, and most of the time you'll hit funny. The goal for me in TTRPG is just everything that I do should inform you of my character, where they're at, what they're feeling, what their goal is, what their past is, all of it. Mm-hmm. So if you fail, tell us why, and like, think about it in real life. Like, if you fucked something up, chances are your mind was elsewhere. So tell us where your mind is.
I'm distracted right now. I'm thinking about this person who is like just up the cliff ahead of me, and wow, their butt looks really good right now.
It can be funny, it can be serious, it can be whatever.
Or like, I'm so focused on trying to do this right and do this perfectly that, oh shit, I fucked up. Yeah, it's like in a session that meteors were falling, I kept on succeeding dex saves, and I was just singing the UI Goku sound from Dragon Ball. Yeah, failure is just as interesting as success, because like, failure can help move the plot along just as much as a success can, because if you fail at something, that's where the DM has room to play, right? Like,
and the more the DM can play, the better the fucking story.
the better the story is, because the DM's like, oh, hello, bread and butter.
Like,
You have a complicated choice to make here. Let's see how you do it, and let's see the ramifications 3 sessions down the line.
Like, the moment that I fear as a DM is that moment of silence where I don't have anything in my head and the players are looking at me like, well, what do we do next? And like, I recognize that as the thing that I hate as a DM. So whenever I'm a player and the DM comes to that moment, it's just like, what can I do to fill this, to kind of go, hey DM, I recognize where we're at right now, and here's where we can go. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you make a super cool story when you critical hit, but why not the same for a critical miss? Critical misses.
Misses!
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah. I love using the critical failure, like either like improvising something that's like really horrible that happens, or you use a deck for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly that. 100%. I'm with you there. But yeah, that is... Are we just gonna go for awkward silence now for just a couple seconds? Deep breath.
Yeah, I think that's what just happened. This is the moment after the DM.
Yeah. There we go. No, like honestly, I try. So when I run games, I try to prep. If I'm running games where I know other people are running my content, I make sure I prep as much as possible. If I'm running my own games, I prep as little as possible. And honestly, I let the players fill in a lot of the blanks.
So I think I even have it here. For the Trouble in the Second City one shot that I ran.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, yeah, that game. I love that game. I love that game so much. Like, we just had a good party.
Hold on, no, that's not it. I had 4 lines of notes written.
Yeah,
and that was it. I generally had an idea of where the story was gonna go, but that was it. Oh yeah, here it is. Here are my notes for Trouble in the Second City, the one shot, and I'll read what it says. It says Detective Arnold, Officer Prosciutto, Officer Mackey, Judge Solomon, Bailiff Jenkins, Fireside Bull, Wolf Den, U-Haul, Fullerton, Dead Wolf at Soundbar, and then Alderman Jackson. That was all I had coming in. So it's just
yeah, like I said, with the one that I ran a month ago, it was Owlbear on a Frilly Dress. That was my prep.
Yes,
that was it.
So it's just some people can kind of freestyle DM. Some people need to have.
Some people need to have
planned out. I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the secret sauce is, like, you have to find your style, and you have to go with that. For sure. Like, Alien Jace, I'm actually prepping for my game today, and I plan about 1 page of questions to myself total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's something that I told Jamie, which is a good, like, if you're really bad at coming up with names, like, if you're really bad at coming up with names for, like, people or places or things, have a list. Make yourself a list of NPC names. Like, just a random name generator, and then, like, once you use one, write a quick note with who this character was and cross it off the list, and then move down to the next one.
So,
Jamie,
for me...
Jamie was having, like, real bad time with some names. Like, he's good at DMing, he's bad at names. So...
I am also bad at names, and a trick that I learned very early on is look around in the room, and there are names everywhere. Like, okay, so Alton Ramon, which is just Altoids Remote. Like, it's just like...
Pispa Cheerbright. I have a PSP, and I have a note up on there that says cheers.
But, like, it's just... And, like, I will sit at work and do that all day, which is just like, look at what can I make this like? Marg Boxy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, your bartender, Purell something.
Oh yeah, Dr. Purell.
Yeah, Jamie said, I had this whole story for my Kids on Bikes campaign. The party needed to find this radio DJ, and they went, let's go to this apartment that I have zero prep for.
Players are gonna do that to you. Players are gonna do that to you.
Cat lamp. Okay, I'm bad at this.
Cat lamp. Actually, no. If you just take out the P, that's a cool ass name. Cat lamp.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Cat lamb. Just drop the P. Get rid of the P.
Like, I just...
Cat lamb sounds like a sweet jazz artist. You're right, Alien.
The thing is, like, once you fall in love with DMing, you kind of find yourself doing DMing exercises all the time without even understanding that you're doing that.
100 true.
Like, I am 100% guilty of every time I watch Blanket Unify.
Blanket.
Blancummy? I've heard of Blancummy.
Yeah. Blanc. Use France. Blanc.
Blancummy.
Hume? Blanc Hume? Yeah, it's like, I'm 100% that bitch that wanders around the apartment and, like, uses funny voices at my cats.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, in the shower. Oh, yeah. Or, like, in the shower, I'll be, like, talking to myself in character. Like, oh, yeah. 100%. 100% that's me.
Yeah. I can't watch a movie without breaking down what the character is doing in terms of, like, some of my favorite TTRPGs. So it's just like, oh, yeah, that's definitely the tavern brawl feat. Oh, that's something that a cleric would do. That's something that a wizard would do. Like, I've made character sheets for all the Disney princesses. Like, you know, it's just doing all that kind of shit. It helps. It helps so that when your players kind of fuck you with something, you're ready for it.
Absolutely. Shower is critical thinking and testing out time. That's where I come up with my best one-shots. It's in the shower.
Oh,
or I'll wake up from a dream and I'll be like, okay, let's do this. That was cool. Let's figure this out. Let's figure out how this works. Find, like, once you get into that place where you can just sort of shut your brain off to a point, you can come up with, like, some real good ideas.
I mean, the thing is, just as a DM, you kind of have to... The biggest secret to me is that if you pay attention, your players will basically tell you what they want. And your job is to tease them with it, taunt them with it, and then ultimately give it to them. Like, that's really all it is.
Or you give it to them.
Oh, and you make them suffer for it.
Oh, or you give it to them, but you give it to them in a way that they don't expect. It's kind of like like my friend Stacy, who runs our Star Trek game, says, it's like, I'm like the Jinn in the old stories. I will give you exactly what you want. It's that monkey's paw, like, sort of like, oh, you want this to happen? It's gonna cost you.
Oh, definitely.
It's gonna cost you.
Like, I love fucking with players who, like, have such an obvious goal. Like, one of the things that I had an edgelord that refused to, like, be emotional in games. Like, I ran a few other games with him and he refused to show me emotion. And so his character's entire motivation was, I want to kill the guy that destroyed my family. And I gave it to him session 1, and he came back after session 1, like, mad. Like, hey, I'm like, this was my whole deal. Why am I able to kill him? And I'm just like, this is something that you'll have to figure out in game. Like,
yeah.
If it was easy, then, I mean, I guess your
maybe it was
happy.
Too easy. Well, aren't you happy now?
Yeah, this is what you wanted. Congratulations. It's just like, well, I don't know why he would keep going.
Always
like,
a catch. Magic always has a price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, always a catch, and magic always has a price, says Floppy. And
absolutely.
Anthony wants to know our favorite action moment or favorite emotional moment we've had as a DM or a player. I've got mine, but I'll let you do yours.
Oh no, you go first because I need to think. Favorite action moment?
Or favorite emotional moment?
Favorite
as
emotion.
a DM or a player. I've got two. I've got one as a DM and I've got one as a player. A favorite emotional moment as a player was Rin and Odd's talks. Because there was a lot of times when you would see this thing where she would skirt the line and she would be like, no, here is the deeper thing that is happening to me as a person. I am having a panic attack right now because I am coming to terms with the fact that I have been captured for 13 months. I have been stuck in a room. And I am coming to the terms with this man that I love like a brother is my captor. And I am skirting that surface. And everything about this is wrong. But I love him. And I want him to be okay and I want him to be happy. That's my favorite one as a player. But I'll let you figure something out for you.
So I have two. Oh, one is it is a Rin and Odd moment. It is after she drank the potion. Rin knew Odd was gone, and Rin, his whole deal was, I accept reality. Reality is terrible, but this is the burden that I'm prepared to pay as a servant to the matron. I'm not meant to understand joy. I'm not meant to care about loss. And so it was really the first time he tried to fool himself. And that was a struggle. And in the midst of that, he did Josh did something beautiful, which is that moment was personified when he had to fight himself.
Yeah.
Because it was just like he fought everything that he was, including the guy that that wouldn't admit that what just happened to his best friend hurt him. And that, because after he got done with that fight, he was digesting it for several episodes afterwards. It was just it wasn't I won that fight, so now I'm okay to say
I'm
that
okay with myself.
It's
I'm okay to say that Odd is leaving. Because I think the potion happened after the fight, if I'm remembering correctly.
Did it?
It did. It happened down in the catacombs underneath. But yeah, you were also...
It was the mummy first.
It was during the mummy fight, Odd drank the potion.
Oh no, fuck, you're right.
But upstairs was when Ben had to fight himself because he had the gem in his forehead.
Yeah. So
but yeah, it's not a fix, says Floppy. It's definitely the start of a healing journey. Yeah, Nick's still emotional about it. It's still... yeah. And definitely it's Stockholm Syndrome. 100% it was. She felt the need to care about this because it was the only human connection, or the only person that she could feel connected to for 13 months after being in a room with someone by herself. Yeah.
I almost feel bad because his story has continued just elsewhere. And so he's still you guys have not gotten to see it, but it's
I've seen bits and pieces, but yeah, I haven't seen the whole thing.
It's the continuation of that journey where now he is that guy that can tell you that I'm hurting, but in a very him way. But
it's a very Rin way of saying that I'm hurting for sure. Always.
Yes.
Everything Rin does. Every emotion Rin shows is from, it's Hal Saeed now because name change. Yeah. But yeah, every emotion or everything that he feels is always with that edge to it.
And there's a character that's in his party now that very much reminds him of Odd, and it's fucking him up right now.
Oh,
it's a very interesting thing. But as a DM, my favorite emotional moment, I lied before when I told you guys what my DM signature move was. My DM signature move is I would put my skill with Warlock Patrons against anybody.
Oh yeah, you're fucking good at Warlock Patrons. I've seen some of the shit that you came up with for your other game, like with the Nancy, like, fuck.
Yeah. So a Nancy.
Hal Saeed is being played right now on. There's a Harper's game
TPK
over
roleplay
at TPK.
Yep. And so Mina is warlock of. Mina is a warlock of Anansi, who is the god of deals, or a patron of deals, trickery, that kind of stuff. He's very influenced by the American Gods representation of Mr. Nancy.
Yeah.
And
Orlando Jones is so good as that.
Oh my god, so
Fuck.
good.
Like,
So
and just
fucking
such
good.
a shame they axed him. Such a shame.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit with that.
There is a whole bunch of shit with that. We're not going to get into it right now, but yeah.
He's very manipulative, and I based him off of a lot of bad habits that I had to grow out of. Like just there is being personable and being charming. And I don't know how to say this without sounding cocky or any type of way, but any blessing that you're given, you have a responsibility to use it responsibly. So
great power must also
great
come.
responsibility.
Great responsibility.
Yep. And so I was just like, I'm gonna take this guy and give him all the charm, all the suave in the world, and I'm gonna have him use it in a way that you don't realize is manipulative and cruel and abusive. So he gives Mina all the power in the world. You know, he gives her warlock powers. He gives her gifts, and in exchange, he asks for souls. And he's always constantly reminding her, "Hey, you're my favorite person in the world. Like, hey, you know, you're gonna be the one that brings me back to this world. You know, like you're so
You're so
beautiful.
special.
You're so sweet. You know, like it costs me nothing to give you power because seeing you work is just a wonder." And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and finally, and I didn't expect this, Mina had enough, and it came out of nowhere, and it was such a fucking moment that. So one of the things that Anansi had her do was he had her offer him souls, and one of the souls was this girl had he had her sacrifice this girl's family, but she made the decision to keep the girl and train her as like a protege and bring her into the fold. And Nancy was not happy with this at first, but then he was just like, you know what? Cool, 2 of them. And then he started to show the protege a little bit more favoritism and slowly started to try and pit them together. And the protege said, Mina is the only family I have left. I'll never do anything to harm her. And his thought process was, cool, I'll just have Mina destroy you since you're going to be disobedient. And Mina went, no, I'm not going to do that either. And then it was just both of them turning against Mr. Nancy. And so he did what a warlock would do. He took away their power.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they had found a coven. And so they joined the coven and basically got all their powers back by being witches. and they start to go after Mr. Nancy, and it was such. I didn't realize that this was where the storyline was going, but it was so emotional, and just being able to draw the strength out of that player to translate it to that character. It just like that was a moment I didn't make. That was a moment that
the players made.
She made. And it was far better than anything that I could have planned or written. And I'm blessed that I got to be a part of that. Like that.
Yes.
That's the magic of being a DM.
I love it when players surprise you.
Yes, when you get to go, holy fuck, I get to be here for this. Like,
it's great.
Dude.
Yeah, Alien Jace, I recently had a surprisingly emotional moment as a GM. Players found a juggernaut, a big plastic homunculus in post-apocalyptic. Instead of fighting it, they tried to communicate with it and found out it just wanted them to leave it alone. All the players, and one of my players said, "Oh, it just wants to be left alone." And I nearly cried. It hit me out of nowhere. Yeah, like, definitely when players surprise you, or when players like come up with something that's... My emotional moment as a GM, I was at Gen Con last year, 2019, and I was running, for Magpie, I was running Crossroads Carnival. I was running just a table playtest for that. And I had one player at my table. They were very quiet, very subdued the entire thing. They were playing... in that game, it's the Dust Bowl. You are circus freaks fighting the darkness, which is like, the Dust Bowl is literally a force of evil, and the carnival is the only balm for the rubes or the common folk. And you are people who are always on the edge of society and never a part of it. And I had them, in the middle of the Dust Bowl, come to a town that was beautiful and lush and green. And there was a player playing the Dogface, which is kind of like a werewolf type thing. And the Dogface has a relationship, generally, I found, at least with my playtests. The Dogface will usually have a relationship with the Geek. The Geek is the person that consumes living animals to feel like they are part of, like, whole. Like, and so the Dogface would go out and get live animals, and I had them catch this partridge, like just a pheasant, like a wild chicken. And I was talking to them about it. I'm like, okay, well, this is the quiet character. I'm like, okay, well, you have this bird. It is trembling. It is in your hands. It's not dead yet. And you have a choice to make here. You have other things that you can present to the Geek to make them feel sated for now. But you have this bird, and this is a prize. This is a beautiful thing. Like, and you know its fate, and it's trembling in your hands. And what do you do? And it's quiet the entire game, like, would just sort of agree with everything that everybody else was doing. Said, I take a feather, I pluck it out, and I set it free. And I said, okay. And with that, it flies free. And you have this one feather, this one keepsake of this beautiful place. Just like, they're like, I tuck it in my pocket, and I walk away. And it's just like this just beautiful, quiet moment that I didn't expect from this player. And like, it was like the most amazing cinematic description that I could think of. And that was my favorite emotional moment, is just like seeing a very quiet, very subdued player blossom in that moment. That feels like that's the magic of TTRPGs to me.
Yeah.
Is when you can take someone who is like, who has like no stakes and no like confidence, and then just make it so that they can create this beautiful moment. Like, that to me, that's everything. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite moments. Oh, I don't know.
It's great when like, okay, it comes down to empathy, fuck off, and be vulnerable.
Yes.
Like, vulnerability adds to some real shit. Like, absolutely
it does. Like, and if you feel like you're at a place where you can be comfortable enough to be vulnerable at a table, that's where the magic happens. 100% that is.
Make sure you're finding the right tables. Like, that's the key.
100%. You know? I'm with you there. I think that actually we've been doing this for about 3 hours now. 3 hours and 10
Holy
minutes.
shit, really?
Okay. Yeah. So do you think
Okay.
that this is a good time to maybe like we'll cut it here,
Yeah, we
and
can cut it
we'll
here.
do a quick sign off, and we'll be back next week because I'll be out visiting family. But I think maybe the week after we'll do another one of these, like every 2 weeks
Cool with
ish.
that.
2 weeks.
All right, it's a bi-weekly show. You guys found it out.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a co-host. The ritual is happening. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out and like and putting up with our bullshit. And it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with y'all today. And there was feels, empathy, fuck off, and be
Fuck
vulnerable.
off. There it is.
That's
That's
it.
the rules.
That's the secret sauce. All right, everybody. We love you very much. And with that, I suppose I'm gonna do like a really bad sign off here. Are you ready? Are you ready for this cheese? Are you ready?
Let's
that-
do it. Let's hear it is.
The ritual is concluded. Bye, everybody.
Bye.